How's it going, everybody? This is Joey of Underage Packers. Today, I wanted to take a look at the three most disappointing Packers players from the 2020 season. So that's free agent signings, players that had a much better 2019, that had a much better 2020, or really just underperformed, underwhelming season from them. Let's start off with Preston Smith, the other half of the Smith Bros. Hard to say the better half. He kind of had this thing going on in 2019 as well, where some parts of the season he was going through some really great stretches, and others he was just above average. This year, he went through above average and bad. Luckily, Rashawn Gary started to get some playing time over him, and that really saved us. Juanis did some tremendous stuff for us against the Rams in the divisional round, but Preston Smith really disappointed this year, and I think him and Zadarius Smith are two players that really feed off of the crowd energy, and that's one or two players right there where you can say the fans really hurt them. And it will be interesting to see what Preston Smith's future looks like in Green Bay. He's shown that he can do some great stuff, but he has quite the cap hit for the Packers in 2021, and they have some cap issues, to say the least. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Packers next year. I wouldn't also be surprised if he's gone from the Packers. They might try to restructure his deal if he's not willing to do that. We might have seen him play his last game in Green Bay, but he played great in 2019. I think he had solid depth for us behind Rashawn Gary, but at $8 million a year, that's quite the expensive depth piece. So, Preston Smith, disappointing season for him. Like what he added, but he's going to have to step it up if he wants to continue getting the snaps that he did this year. Next up, we have Christian Kirksey. After we signed him, the idea was, he was a really good linebacker. He's a top end middle linebacker that injuries had just been a problem for him. He had an injury early in the year. I believe it happened in week 3 against the Saints. And he was out injured for quite a few weeks. So he's still injured. The injuries were still a problem for him. And he just couldn't seem to be that signing that we were looking for. And I'll tell you what, we would be in quite some trouble if Chris Barnes or Kamal Martin did not turn out to be the players they were. We'd be pretty screwed at the inside linebacker position. But Christian Kirksey was pretty disappointing. I was expecting better play from him. However, near the end of the season, he did start to look a lot better. I thought, he played really good down the stretch. Just like many players. I thought he had coupled a few good games there, but overall wasn't the signing that we expected back from March. And finally, we have a player that might not be too popular, might not be too well known to most fans, and that's Jace Sternberger. Now, I'm not saying this because of his terrible play, but year 2. Another year that was really injured, was ruined by injuries for him. He had one, he was out with COVID the first few weeks of training camp. Last year during his rookie training camp, he had a concussion because of Lonnie Johnson having to hit him in the joint practice with the Texans, so that was stupid. So he missed training camp both years. Sidelined him for the first few weeks of the preseason and the season, so I can understand that. He had another injury near the end of the year this year, so the injuries have plagued him, and even after he recovered from his concussion later down the line this year, he was inactive for the games, which was pretty telling. But I'm not writing him off yet. I still think he has a lot of potential as a third-round pick, and we know how much Matt LaFleur loves his tight end, so I'd expect him to get more of a role here. We'll see if the Packers want to bring Mercedes Lewis back, but I like the tight end room, and I like Jace. But the reason I call him disappointing is he hasn't been able to get on the field. Having him being inactive for the last few games is a little concerning. But once again, I think you give him a camp here, allow him to show off the potential he has, give him a full training camp to fully learn the offense, and I think he's looking good. I'm super excited for him to be hopefully fully healthy 2021 season. That's all I got for you today. Let me know your list of the 3 most disappointing Packers in the 2020 season. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Underage Packers. That's all I got for you today. As always, go Pack Go.